Welcome to the MLB on ESN. Welcome to Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of the Minnesota Twins, the number 2 seed in the AL, who plan to face the 3rd seed Toronto Blue Jays. It's the Blue Jays and the Twins in Game 1 of the ALDS. Hello, everyone. I'm Eddie, joined alongside by Steven for the call of this game. And we have quite a show for you. 2 division champions. Both teams looking into this game with a lot of playoff hopes, a lot of hopes for an ALCS berth, a pennant, and maybe even a World Series championship. But they got to get through each other first, and 2 teams that have not seen much success since the 90s now play today in the hopes of maybe reversing that. I don't want to really call it curse, but I guess you can call it that. But it has been a while since these teams have shown. We have Peralta and Valdez as the starting pitching lineup. As we see now, Amber Valdez for the Minnesota Twins. Any notes on him, Steven?
He's a really great starter for the Twins. 9-11, 412, but he's definitely a playoff performer, more than a regular season performer. But he does have a better WHIP of 1.27, which should be a good sign here. As here's the first pitch of the ball game.
And sinker low to Jake Mangum. An interesting start. Rookie from Mississippi State. That's in 2019. However, an injury-riddled outfield means Toronto is going to put him in the number 1 spot. He does have that speed that you want out of your number 1 in the batting order, as that sinker gets into the strike zone. Strike 1. Valdez, interesting guy. 2-time All-Star previously in his career, but had a pretty good season, all things considered. Best WAR of his career. A lot more strikeouts than he usually throws, as that circle change goes low. And realistically, Mangum seems like an easy target. 500 batting average, but he only had 2 at-bats as he swung through that curveball. Very good OPS, but then again, 500 batting average will do that as he swings right through Strinker. Strike 3, out 1 for Valdez. Strikeout in 5 pitches. He gets him to chase. Switched up a little bit, went right back to the sinker. Mangum had no chance.
Yeah, that sinker is Valdez's primary pitch from this season compared to every other pitch he has used. But he likes to use a curveball, slider, changeup, sometimes a four-seamer as well. Great pitch selection there, as we got Donovan Solano batting second.
Solano, an interesting player. Saw there, very low OPS. Batting average sort of low, but you see there, Silver Slugger back in 2020. It's technically his worst batting average, that 225, since he was called up in 2019, but he's had the most RBIs he's had in his career this season. Breaking his own single-season record, as that ball is going to be bounced. Marte will make an easy 1-hop, and that'll be 2 outs. And Valdez puts down the first 2 in the order. That'll send it to, well, as you see there in the order, one of the most important players on this Blue Jays team, Anthony Rendon. So you see Mangum, Solano, Rendon, Smith, Moustakas, Adames, Taylor, Bell, and Margot. The 9 batters that will be going through this order. You also saw there, very good average combined by this team. Makes sense when you have a guy like Rendon who bounces that one, but it'll be to the shortstop. Javier Baez will make that play. 1, 2, 3 go the Blue Jays in the top of the first. We'll start the Twins hitting in this ALDS matchup when we come back. Welcome back to Target Field as we see Freddie Peralta being the start on the mound today. Possibly an ace for this team, but what information do you have on him, Steven?
He's definitely the ace for Toronto today. 33 starts, 13-7 record, 2.80 ERA. He has 4 pitches he uses primarily: four-seamer, slider, curveball, changeup. He usually uses the fastball and then uses his breaking pitches to get batters out, as Mookie Betts is the leadoff man for Minnesota today.
Really going to need that. Twins leading in contact and power from our ESN insights that you saw in the pregame studio. First pitch to Betts. Four-seamer just caught the inside of the plate. Strike one, as you see there. Only played 129 games this season, but for Betts, I mean, outside of that, it was an all-around season of lows for just playing that little amount of games, but still did pretty well. Score was pretty high, all things considered, although he's used to higher. However, did hit a lot of home runs comparatively as he swings straight through a curveball in the dirt.
Well, that just shows
Strike two.
how dominant Betts has been over the past couple years as he swings and misses and strikes out. But yeah, despite having low numbers this season, the lowest they've ever been for him in his entire career, still a pretty solid season. You wouldn't give this kind of season up for nothing. But
Absolutely
definitely not the best first at-bat.
Speaking of bad seasons, Josh Rojas takes a four-seamer right down the middle. Josh Rojas has just had, I mean, a terrible season when you look at his stats. WAR change of about 2 points. 2 points of WAR change at a 264 average back in 2021. He now is hitting 200 this season as he swings through his circle change. Definitely another season of lows, but then again, being on a team with this much hitting, sometimes all you have to be is just good enough, and Rojas definitely has the speed to make up in a second spot. Certainly 4 stolen bases on the season, but certainly a strange choice by Rocco Baldelli to put him second. Feels like he's more maybe a 5th or 6th guy, especially with some of the guys we have later in this order. As the 1-2 is swung on and missed, fastball way inside, and Rojas just let it up. And Peralta back-to-back strikeouts to start the game as he goes up against the beginning of sort of the murderer's row for this Twins team, Ketel Marte.
Yeah, this is the prime of the batting order here. It starts off with Marte, then catcher Salvador Perez, and then Jesse Winker. All great hitters, all powerful hitters that could do damage. As he's 1-0 ahead of Peralta in this at-bat. Make that 2-0.
Marte, interesting career. 2019 All-Star, the only All-Star appearance he's had, as we see Salvador Perez there. But he's having his best season since that 2019 All-Star campaign. Also been his first full season since then, so really clutching up here is that's going to be grounded, but Solano's going to make a running grab and throw to first. 1, 2, 3 for both sides. Peralta and Valdez sit him down, and we head to the second. Still 0-0 in Minneapolis. Back to the top of the second, and it's Will Smith getting the start here today in his second full season as a starter in Major League Baseball. He's the first pitch, sinker low. Valdez moves the bottom of the plate to his advantage. That 102 RBIs is a single season record for Smith. In fact, he leads the team in home runs and RBIs, also, and in OPS, and in WAR. In fact, a WAR score jump. He was at 3.3 wins above replacement last year, now up to 7.1, and a huge jump. That's why he's the 4-hole hitter, and it's why, really, this Toronto offense has seen, I mean, a lot of production out of this middle group of Rendon, Smith, and the man after him, Mike Moustakas. He fouls that one off.
He is the best hitter on the team right now. Maybe best overall player since he's also the catcher. 7.1 WAR, 924 OPS. Oh, that was
that curveball got by him. That curveball got by Perez.
48 home runs as well, which leads the team. Just an absolutely phenomenal season from the sophomore catcher as he fouls off that curveball.
Aldez, it's back-to-back curveballs. We saw it set up the sinker last time. Does he go for it again on Will Smith, the 2-2? He did, and Smith went right through it. That'll be the second strikeout of the day for Framber Valdez, and it brings up one of the most interesting battles we're going to see today. Mike Moustakas, who is probably, as he grounds one right up the mirror to Framber Valdez. I guess I have to get back to this later because it's a one-pitch at-bat. Easy throw to first, and there's 2 away very quickly in the top of the second. And that'll bring up Willie Adames.
Shortstop with a lot of power, as you see, 33 homers, 77 RBIs, 807 OPS. Maybe not one of the best defensive shortstops, but definitely better on the hitting side.
Definitely an interesting season for him as well, given he had a very big drop in wins above replacement, went from 4.3 as that one goes off the knee of Salvador Perez, 4.3 to 1.7, but his OPS didn't drop, and he had the most home runs and RBIs he's ever had in a single season. I think maybe he is focusing, as you pointed out, on that power as he gets one first baseman. What a dive by Rowdy Tellez, and that's going to make the play. Tellez ends the inning ranging all the way to his right. Prevent that ball from going to the outfield. Just a perfect catch. And Valdez gets there. We head to the bottom of the second. Now in the bottom of the second, here we can finally talk about, I was trying to mention the top of the first, Salvador Perez playing old teammate Mike Moustakas. Moustakas, the designated hitter for the Blue Jays. Salvador Perez, the catcher. From both players on that 2015 Kansas City Royals team that won the World Series. Perez, MVP that year. Very similar numbers to last year for Salvador Perez, except his batting average is a lot lower than what you would, I guess, expect out of him. But he did have another great year in terms of wins above replacement, so you gotta believe he's not really losing a step when it comes to his batting as he takes that slider low. Peralta finally gets a pitch in the zone. It's 2-1.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a show of which catcher is better on both sides tonight and through the entire series, as they have pretty close WAR numbers. Sal with 7 WAR and Will Smith with 7.1. 45 home runs for Sal, a 847 OPS. Just another great season from one of the best catchers in the game right now.
Absolutely. 7 All-Stars to his name. The full count pitch. He's going to foul another one off, and this has been a long at-bat, and compared to Valdez, this has got to make Peralta at least a little bit nervous. Even he's letting up long at-bat here to Salvador Perez, and he walks him. Fastball. Tried to get him to chase. That wasn't off the plate. It didn't seem like much of a loss of control. That'll set up Jesse Winker with a chance. All-Star last year. Having a middling year in terms of batting average and OPS, but is having the best slugging season of his career. His home runs, RBIs are generally up. You gotta imagine he's looking to move Perez up as first pitch. Peralta goes with a circle change and it's low. Like you see there, broke 100 home runs in his career this season. Big milestone for him, especially given it was late in the season. Minnesota was trying to make the run to fend off the White Sox for the AL Central. Of course they would. Dave Lawrence behind home plate today. It'll be interesting to see really how he does. I've seen he's been calling some good pitches so far, but we all know it's the postseason. Pressure is on everyone, even the guy in black behind the home plate. 2-1 fouled. What a pick! Off the ground. He's only going to get one. Is he going to get two? Oh, he almost did.
He got neither.
Did he? We're going to go to review. Bell. Bro, he did. He pulled Adames off the bag. Clearly their Winker is safe. And they're going to reverse. Yep, it's 2 on, no out. And the worst guy you want to see in this Minnesota Twins comes up to bat. It's Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, he's a power guy, that's for sure. A lot of power coming from that bat. 27 home runs, which, I mean, doesn't lead the team in homers, but still not the guy you want at the plate right now if you're Freddie Peralta with base runners on and Minnesota could take the early 1-0 lead with one mistake.
Yep, but he's got him down to an 0-2 count, and Schwarber had to foul off that one to stay in it. Maybe looking to get him to chase here. Get the first out of the game. Minnesota fans up to their feet, trying to will on Schwarber. The 0-2 hit him. Did it? It did. Full
Bases
count.
loaded.
I believe I said full count there. Bases loaded, no outs, and it's George Springer. You want to talk about playoff experience? You talk about the guy that won the World Series back in 2017. The best wins above replacement in his career. Hasn't had a big award since he made the All-Star game in 2019, but certainly break this game wide open as he swung at that one. Sent a
Almost missed
fastball.
that.
Sent a fastball right down the middle. Peralta did there, and Springer did just miss it. 1-1 count. See the win expectancy climbing for the Twins as that ball's fouled off. He went for a curveball in the upper corner, and Springer got another piece of it. Definitely playing a dangerous game, Peralta is. Oh, but he got the slider. Yeah, the ranging slider. Finally threw one out. And see here, Springer has no chance on that slider. That's a golf swing. Oh, 6 inches away. And that brings up another member of this murderer's row. It's Javier Baez, 2-time All-Star, 1-time Silver Slugger. Technically having a bit of a down year in terms of statistics, but he's had his most hits since 2019, and also a pretty fast guy, so it's going to be hard to double him off to end this inning. Got a lot of stolen bases this year. As he skies that one out to left. He's back. Winker's back. He's not going to get there. Grand slam. Javier Baez makes it 4-0 Minnesota. 18th home run of the year if you count the regular season, but no one cares about the regular season anymore. Twins fans are all hyped for the postseason. There looked like there was doubt for just a brief second, as I believe that was Tyrone Taylor. I misspoke. Going out into left field, but he went all the way out there and for nothing. That ball just goes over the wall too, only about a couple rows in, and just like that, very good start for the Twins, as Freddie Peralta has been exposed here, and for a guy who was an all-star last year, having one of the best ERA of his career, second straight 10-win season, improvement across the board. That's not the way you want to start, especially for someone who I think you'd consider an ace for this Toronto Blue Jays team.
Yeah, this has been a disastrous inning for the Blue Jays. Mistake after mistake. He walked the first batter in the inning, then the error, then another walk, and then that led to the grand slam. And especially considering how bad Baez has been this year, it's kind of shocking that happened. But it doesn't matter. Damage done, as that's going to lead to the top of the order coming up.
Mookie Betts, 0 for 1, struck out in the first. May be able to keep Peralta in a little bit. I don't know what Toronto's, or Minnesota in this case's best play is in terms of how they want to attack these pitchers now up 4-0. Because realistically, I don't know if you want to knock Peralta out, force him to go to their bullpen, but you also, like, if they're going to keep in Peralta, then maybe, just try and get some long at-bats with him, run up his pitch count, try and make him vulnerable for, like, another, long bomb.
You got to keep the pressure going. You're up 4-0 right now. You got to keep adding on more and more.
Ooh.
But they aren't going to add on more this inning.
We head to the third, but it's Javier Baez who takes a fastball down the middle and deposits it in the left center stands. 4-0 Twins. We head to the third. Back From Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Tyrone Taylor is up to bat against Framber Valdez to kick off this frame. And for Tyrone Taylor, it's his first full season. Most home run RBIs he's hit in his career, but comparatively, the more number crunching stats, WAR and OPS, technically slightly lower than some of his part-time seasons beforehand. So interesting is that's a broken bat. It'll be popped up, and Rowdy Tellez will make the easy catch for out number 1. I believe that means Valdez has fanned the first 7 in a row. As he brings up Josh Bell. An unfortunate play in the bottom of the second. Really made the best play he could, but unfortunately couldn't get anyone out in it. Could have possibly saved a couple of runs there, as Valdez's sinker is low. Really see there, definitely a home run type of guy, but hasn't had a great season. Well, he's had 26 this season. However, he's been on the decline since 2020. Being a 2019 All-Star as he takes that sinker inside.
Yeah, he's a power guy predominantly. That's why he plays first base, and obviously, as we saw in the last inning, definitely not a defensive guy as he grounds out.
Rojas ran in and made a good work of that dribbling grounder. And that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Manuel Margot, right fielder for Toronto. Funny thing about this Toronto team, most of the players on this, more than 500 at-bats this season. They've traditionally kept this team together, except for the guy batting number 1, Mangum. That circle change is swung on and missed. Pretty good season for Margot. Ties his single-season stolen base record in 2019. Having a pretty good run overall, but again, more in use for his defense, his arm in right field, and because of that, he finds himself the 9-hole hitter. Not to mention, he's right in front of Jason Hayward as that's going to be grounded. Tellez makes a really lazy pickup and then a crazy backhanded throw to get him out. And going to the bottom of the third, the Twins stay up 4-0, looking to add some more damage to the scoreboard. Now from the bottom of the third, Josh Rojas, having struck out in the first inning, goes back up to bat. Pretty Peralta, 43 pitches so far in 2 innings, looking to try and settle himself down, try to and drag out his appearance as long as you want. I think that's what manager Charlie Montoyo would want for this team. He doesn't want to use up too many of his bullpen to make up for Peralta's mistakes. Also doesn't want to have this game get too out of hand.
Yeah, you need your starters to go deep in the postseason to save your bullpen for those most important moments, as Rojas went reaching for that one.
They at least got some contact on it, but Adames is playing just deep enough that he could saunter over backwards and make that catch. So now it's Ketel Marte, rounded out in the first. Back to the murderer's row for the Twins. Again, it's really hard to get around the fact that this is the best hitting team in baseball. As that ball's inside. Marte, Perez, Winker, Schwarber, Springer, Baez. Pick your poison, really. And Peralta really, he tried to in the second inning, and it backfired pretty heavily.
Yeah, ESN Insights, they're number 1 in contact, number 1 in power. They could do a ton of damage, as we just saw in that second inning.
Marte, not a strong start after his first at bat. But we'll give him a second chance in the third. However, he's down 1-2. Peralta with the chance to put away the 3-hole is way inside. That fastball was going right for Marte's knees. He has to back up just to not take it. 2-2. Is swung on. That might be in the gap. Is that going to be gone? It is. Just like that, it's another home run as the signs light up at Target Field. Ketel Marte It's his 27th home run of the calendar year. And just like that, it's 5-0 Minnesota.
This is what I was saying. The Twins have just got to keep piling it on, keep the pressure going. You cannot just lay down and rest with a 4-0 lead, and Cattell got the memo, crushed that fastball just a bit outside in the zone, outside of the zone, but he gets enough of it to crush it to right field.
That was a good-looking fastball, and you got to get it good to get it over that right field wall, and he did just enough, almost 400 feet. Technically longer than the Javi Baez home run is. Salvador Perez now up with a chance, and the man with 45 home runs out of walk in the second. I think he'd love to join the party at this point. He works towards 50 home runs in the calendar year. As you see there, home run champion in the AL, 45. And you got to believe Peralta is going to try and pitch around him as best he can. Can't be giving him too many fastballs in the zone. The catcher sets low, goes high. He did give him a fastball, but he put a little bit of mustard on it. And Perez fouls it off. The 1-2. Can Peralta sit down the cleanup hitter for the Twins? He'll go inside, and Perez, that's an easy take for the experienced World Series MVP. He goes
Full count.
He is at full count, and we saw here Perez fouled off 3 straight balls in the second before Peralta threw one outside. Where does he go for here? He goes low, and history may be repeating itself. Freddie Peralta. As he takes a ball low. Peralta misses, and just like that, Perez is on again for Jesse Winker.
I gotta imagine that someone has got to be warming up in the Toronto bullpen right now. Peralta is struggling.
He is. You look at that, they got some good, Dinelson Lamet and James Paxton have been confirmed to be on the active roster for this game. Paxton has had a great year. Lamet has had a great year. Both of them pitchers that can really go a lot of innings, so they have backup, and they have pretty good backup. But they're going to need a lot out of their offense to keep into this game, and their defense just to hold firm as that's fouled off. And Winker now has 2 strikes. Oh, 2 from Peralta is a curveball inside.
There it is. Someone warming up.
Yep, Lamet and Paxton. Paxton would be an interesting choice. He's the only left-hander that we have currently active for this game, so the likelihood that he will be, there's a good likelihood he could be pitching, or there's a good likelihood they'll bring him in a situation. So it will probably be Lamet getting the ball, assuming Peralta cannot probably finish the job here in the third. As he settles for the 2-2, already at 62 pitches, 2 1/3 innings. 2-2 is going to be lined. Is that going to get down in fair territory? No, it won't. Tyrone Taylor will make a running catch. And now there's 2 out in the inning. But that brings up Kyle Schwarber yet again. He's clipped by a pitch in the second inning. Definitely a guy who could go yard. Not a guy Peralta wants to give him the chance to, as he's immediately paints the corner. The fastball. You see there, Schwarber, 106 games. He had a similar season last year. Had to battle through a couple of injuries to play. In the end, still had a great season overall as he swings through a curveball.
Yeah, it looks
Absolutely.
like Peralta's trying to pitch away from Schwarber here. Not trying to give him anything to hit right now.
The 0-2, he's going to foul that one. Might be an easy catch for Rendon, and it will be. We end the third inning, but not before Ketel Marte takes one to right field. And it's a solo shot that makes it 5-0 Twins at the end of the third. To the fourth from Minneapolis. Fourth inning starts now in MLB on ESN. ALDS Game 1 between the Blue Jays and the Twins. Jake Mangum back up to bat. It's Framber Valdez. Made it through the first cycle of the batting order cleanly. Mangum, technically, his 4th at-bat of the season. Interesting choice to have him as the number 1. Really good speed, but just a lot of experience out of this guy. Heck, it's his own, you say 4th at-bat all season, it's his 4th at-bat all time in the major leagues. That's that circle change go. I was surprised at this choice from Montoyo. But you look at who else they have options for center field, and really out of those outfielders, as that ball's inside, you have Cabrera, who play all types of outfielders, but you have Gavin Lux, who's primarily a center fielder, Jason Hayward, who's primarily in right. This Mangum fouls that one off. So, realistically, your best option is someone who's only had about 17 at-bats. Again, the injuries to this Blue Jays outfield, well known throughout the season, as that ball's outside. Framber Valdez, 3-2 count on Mangum. Doing great
Toronto
toys in the
could get their
batter's
first base
box, and he won't.
And I jinxed it.
That wasn't much of a jinx. That was Framber Valdez putting an absolutely beautiful curveball that Mangum had no idea where it was going. The pretty strikeout. Go to Donovan Solano. As he tanks that one, it will slice foul on the right field line. So again, interesting guy to put in the 2 spot, 225. OPS about 564. Not a guy who can, with great contact or control in the batter's box. But in the end, what he does have is good ability to hit when clutch. 45 RBIs on 123 hits. He can definitely get someone across. He fouls off that thinker. Either Valdez has been throwing a good amount of balls. He's getting these Twins batters to chase.
Oh,
That stinker. Ooh, that's an interesting call there.
Valdez is not happy with that call.
Nope, not at all. Wanted to celebrate there. Thought he had him. Perez couldn't frame it right. 2-2 to Solano is grounded towards the middle. That's going to be a good pickup for Baez. Will make the play. Beat him by a step and a half. And Valdez clean through 11 hitters. This brings up the heart of the Toronto Blue Jays order. And that includes Anthony Rendon, who grounded out in the first. He's certainly had a season that's a bit of a far cry from his old days, that 2019 World Series championship. Still a good OPS and WAR compared to his injury-riddled season last year, but no, he was pretty much a world beater. The year he won the championship and the years preceding that, just hasn't found that magic since then. Definitely helped this Toronto team no matter what. 32 home runs and 89 RBIs. 633 at-bats. Only a guy they rely on, but they're not going to rely on him for the rest of this at-bat. That sinker hits him. Valdez clean through 4. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Wins 5, Blue Jays nothing. Welcome back. Target Field in Minneapolis. Ready for the bottom of the 4th here. Freddie Peralta. And let up 5 runs on 2 hits. Will stay in the game. He will face George Springer. 0 for 1 on the day. Pitch. Fastball down the middle for strike 1. The question of how long will they let Peralta pitch certainly on the minds of both Twins and Blue Jays fans. What's your insight on this, Steven? What do you think about the use of Peralta into the fourth and beyond in this game one?
I think this will be his last batter for the game. Got that righty-righty matchup with Springer. As nice block there by Will Smith. But I doubt he goes any further from this, or at least maybe the fourth inning will be his last inning. But it is 4 not so good innings at all. So it remains to be seen what happens after this.
We'll foul that one off. Certainly an interesting season for Peralta, 13-7, 2.80 ERA. Right below 1 as this 2-2 is swung through, curveball. Got the bottom of the zone. 6th strikeout on the day for Peralta. Both pitchers in this inning showing off some beautiful curveballs. That one getting Springer chased. No chance. Dave Lawrence, and now it's Javi Paez. Man who started off his 2022 postseason with quite a bang. Grand slam to left center in the second. And he's going to get a chance against Peralta again. Something I don't think me or you, Steven, expected. Given how Peralta has pitched since then. That four-seamer is outside, 2-1. Little grimace there on his face as he walks back to the mound. A 2-1. Curveball swung away. That could have been a strike. Very good defense by Javi Baez. Peralta nearing 80 pitches. They sit down Baez. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Fastball was inside. Got a little bit of the plate. We're into our automated strike zone, and Baez had no chance. Peralta gets a little bit of revenge. Now he gets Rowdy Tellez. Possibility to end the fourth. 1-2-3. And he doesn't even make it a pitch. Rowdy Tellez will get a base. That's the second hit batter for Freddie Peralta. Now it's Mookie Betts, leadoff man. 2 strikeouts to start the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe do some damage. Gets it up the middle. He does. Out of the hands of the ranging Adames. He'll move Tellez up to second. Great chance for Adames to get this ball. Looked like he could have, but just snuck under the glove. Mangum will handle it easy, and yep. He won't even make it to the fourth. Pitching change here on MLB on ESN. We'll be right back. ALDS Game 1. And here's the replacement. Freddie Peralta, Dinelson Lamet, Toronto. 3.05 ERA. Whip at 110. 7 holds this season. Great WAR score too, 2.1. He's had a bounce back season so far. He was a Cy Young candidate, as that ball's gonna get grabbed. What a play by Josh Bell to preserve what could have been a run on one pitch. Man not known for his defense. Makes a great defensive play. We go to the 5th. Minnesota 5-0. So we enter the 5th now. Will Smith. First up to bat, it'll be Smith, Moustakas, and Adames in this inning. First pitch, down the middle. Shift was there. Easy pickup. Kettle Marte throws him out. And it is 1 out in the 5th as we go to Mike Moustakas. An old teammate of Salvador Perez on the Twins. Both helped the Royals to a World Series in 2015. Moustakas having one of his best seasons to date in terms of home runs, OPS, best batting average since that 2015 championship. Takes the sinker low. It's really going to be interesting to see what players step up, especially so far for the Blue Jays, down 5-0. Can contribute at least in this first game. You don't want to believe it's a lost cause, but realistically, it could be a lost cause by this point.
Yeah, if you're the Blue Jays in this scenario, you gotta get back in this game whichever way possible, and they just haven't done that. But Moustakas is ahead in the count right now, so he could possibly get a walk and become the first base runner for today, for Toronto.
Well, he might be. It's a full count. ALDS sat down 13 straight. Can he sit down 14? The 3-2 is fouled off. Moustakas will get one more shot. Catcher sets. It's a bit low and outside. And he puts him right down with a stinker. Right down the middle. And Moustakas just didn't even look at it. Only the 5th strikeout of the day for Framber Valdez. 5 strikeouts through 14 outs. Really not something you, I guess, would expect out of a pitcher who's gone clean so far. But just that pays to the Twins defense, who has certainly been helpful getting these ground outs and flyouts as Willie Adames steps in. Adames is having a great slugging season comparatively in his career. And as he gets one, chopped by the second baseman for a single. That'll end the perfect game chance for Framber Valdez. It's Willie Adames to get on base with a single. Tyrone Taylor.
Great opposite field hitting by Adames there to break up the perfect game with a single the other way. And now Blue Jays have a runner on for the first time in this game.
Tyrone Taylor, although that's a little grounder, is Perez going to make the play? He will do so easily. So the perfect game ends, but Framber Valdez still sits him down. No runs for the Blue Jays, 5 for the Twins. They plan on adding to that, I'm sure, in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be back. And we're back. Bottom of the 5th. Nelson Lamet pitching to Ketel Marte, who hit a solo home run in the 3rd inning. We get back to Lamet, only throwing 1 pitch. The 4th, as that one gets fouled off. Certainly an interesting guy. Very heavy, don't want to say reliant, but very heavy on the strikeouts. Definitely the long reliever they want to keep around. And, I mean, had a pretty great, as I possibly said before, bounce back season for him. Had a really bad 2021, but he was a Cy Young candidate back in 2020. Certainly someone that Toronto's going to use probably prolifically. I mean, their starters can't make it big as Marte is going to get a hold of that one. But it's lazy in left field. It'll be an easy catch for Taylor.
Now batting, the catcher, Salvador.
There's one out in the 5th for Salvador Perez. 2 walks in this game so far. Does he have another one in him, or perhaps a hit? Swings right through that slider, though. The 0-1. Way outside. Met with a little bit of control issues, or maybe some communication problems there with Will Smith. Now it's a 2-1 count. And Perez gets that one up the middle, but the shift is there. Donovan Solano makes that catch. And there's 2 away in the 5th. Lamet with a chance to set him down 1-2-3, but it's Jesse Winker will come up now. 0 for 2 to start, but was very important. Was one of the runs that came across the Javi Baez home run, thanks to a Josh Bell throwing error. Versus pitch slider misses. So I guess with your pitching insight, Steven, what do you think they're going to do with the Nelson Lamet? Where do you think they're going to go? Or I should say, where do you think Charlie Montoyo is going to go with the pitching for his Blue Jays the rest of the way through the 6th and from the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th?
I gotta imagine that Lamet has got to pitch a couple more innings here, possibly. In long relief, just at least keep it a 5-run game for the Blue Jays. And if the offense can get going, that's good for the Jays. But we'll see how long he lasts, as there's a single in the right field.
If didn't work there. Solano was out there on the grass, but that was a smoking ball towards the right fielder, and as you see the exit velocity there, 113 miles an hour. Solano was only going to really die for it. Even then, didn't have the time to react before it was by him. Kyle Schwarber now. 2 outs. Hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning and came across in the home run. Certainly someone looking to join the home run party. Despite his limited time, has hit 27. Also looking for a 60th RBI on the year as he swings through that fastball. It'd be his 60th and 61st should he get one over the wall. But one can dream. 1-1. Swung
Oh, he
on
went
and missed.
chasing after that one.
Very good fastball placement. Right at shoulder height. Schwarber looks tantalizing as that 4-seamer. A little slower there, but it's outside. What does Lamet go to in his arm? The 2-2. He went for a circle change. Schwarber thought it was going inside, and it did not.
That was an ugly swing.
Lamet sits him down. Keeps it 5-0 going to the 6th. We'll be back in the MLB on ESN ALDS. Anymore. It's the top of the 6th in Minneapolis. Twins leading 5-0 over the Blue Jays. Josh Bell is up to bat. Josh, power hitter. Doesn't do much else. Has had an interesting game in the field so far. Made a great diving play to preserve a run. Also made an error that kept 2 men on the grand slam. That's sort of what the Blue Jays are going to have to fight against for these next couple innings. Swings through 2 pitches, though, and it's 0-2. Valdez with a chance for a 3-pitch strikeout. That he grounds that one. Easy play for Javier Baez. And it's 1 out in the 6th. Bringing up Manuel Margot. And for a guy like Margot, this would be a good chance. Get some, I don't want to say experience, but I do want to say some momentum, really. That's a ball.
Oh.
Very interesting call by Dave Lawrence there. That one looked like it went across the plate as that circle change is swung on. I think in the case of the umpire there, I think our automated strike zone may have assumed that it had landed, but it actually went really around the strike zone as that ball's going to be a dribbler to second. Can he get there? He can. Edel Marte makes it to the ball. And he throws him out. 2 out in the 6th, and it's Jake Mangum. 5th at-bat of his MLB career in a big stage. Big part, because you don't know. Amber Valdez has been pitching great, a 1-hitter as of right now. Less than 70 pitches through 6 innings. Could possibly go the distance if he feels like it. Then again, that'll be up to Rocco Baldelli. If he wants to preserve as that ball's going to get popped up. Easy, lazy. Center field's going to make the play. George Springer with the catch. It's 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th. And the Twins, with Springer, Baez, and Tellez, plan on doing more damage. We'll be back. MLB. And it's George Springer to lead off the Twins in the bottom of the sixth. Nelson Lamet pitching his second full inning, likely. Pitched 1 out in the fourth. As his first offering is a high fastball. You see there, Ian Kennedy and John Curtis, the planned pitchers. Interesting choice there of having Curtis warm up on the mound. I wouldn't imagine they go to him in this situation. One of the guys, technically one of the guys, I mean, you look at his ERA comparative to the rest of the crew, you look at his whip. Interesting choice to have him out there as with the ball into right field. You think that's more of a save the best for more important game type of play there to have a John Curtis? I mean, you have Ian Kennedy also warming up, but you think that's the idea there? Let Curtis run it instead of putting in someone important?
Yeah, I think maybe the Blue Jays are giving up on the game if they're going to put Curtis in. Just deciding that they're going to lose game 1 and hopefully maybe win game 2 to tie up the series going back home. So that's probably punting the game, I guess you could say, and giving the Twins the win.
Well, you could also say that given it's a lot of offensive woes, more like it, I mean, as he strikes out Baez there. Lamet sits down, I believe that's now 5 in a row. I should be 3 in a row. Forget these things sometimes. Streaks can feel long, but they can also be interrupted by little things as Pelez takes a strike.
I mean, yeah, I believe the Twins only have 3 hits today, but they're up 5-0 thanks to that grand slam. So it could definitely still be a pitcher's duel right now, but that's just not the case.
If you are Toronto, seeing that your opponents can only really do a lot of damage has done a lot of damage via the long ball in this game, you could reasonably say that this game could be a wash, but you'll get them next time. As that four-seamer is low. It really is down to whatever choice Charlie Montoya wants to go with. But again, it's the offensive woes, really, so maybe Montoya believes that his team could really be in a better position as he swings. Pelez swings right through a fastball. 6 innings gone, 3 innings left to go in the ALDS Game 1 between the Twins and Toronto. Twins up 5-0. Top of the 7th begins with Donovan Solano for the Blue Jays against Framber Valdez. The Twins, Valdez at 66 pitches, 1 hitter so far. Kept Toronto in check as the Twins offense behind 2 home runs, grand slam by Baez, a solo shot by Kittle Marte have kept that gap where it is. As Valdez gets 2 quick strikes on Solano. I don't know too much about this pitching rotation for. However, I do know that Minnesota is technically ranked, according to our ESN Insights, 22nd in pitching. Given Valdez is going to have a good amount of momentum for this next game, do you think there's a chance they take him out maybe an inning earlier than he expected, hoping to rest him up for possible Game 4, Game 5, or maybe even a Game 1, as that ball's going to get swung through and it'll be 1 out in the 7th?
I'm not sure if that's the right move of pulling him a little bit early. He's currently at 70 pitches. He could possibly go the distance. I mean, you never know. That's why workhorses are so valuable. Like Valdez, currently working his 7th inning with a great pitch count. Possibly could get a complete game here. And you need those in the postseason, like I said earlier, to save your bullpen for those important moments. So I can't imagine Rocco Baldelli pulling him early.
And you look at the Twins bullpen, especially for tonight, and you notice a couple of interesting names they have listed, particularly Jimmy Nelson Guys like Alvarado, Shane Green, Brendan Brennan, getting a big chance. A young man who only pitched about a combined 10 to third innings the 2 seasons before this one, but pitched 22 so far. Certainly a choice to have him on the active roster for Game 1 of the ALDS. But they might not need to use him. Valdez in a 2-2 count. And
Yeah, that's
Rendon
the other
cuts that
thing.
one
This
foul.
bullpen is not the best bullpen uh, in the AL at all. As you saw, the pitching not the best, 22nd ranked.
Rendon at a full count. Has at least worked this one against Valdez, approaching 80 pitches. Can Rendon get on? Grounds that one. First base, easy play for Tellez. Ran over, made that. Gets Rendon by quite a few steps.
Will
2 out
Smith.
in the top of the 7th. And it'll be Will Smith, the 4-hole hitter. His one chance. I believe it was Willie Adames who got the hit for these Blue Jays, which means that the math is correct. That means 6 straight have gone down to Valdez since that hit. Certainly getting streaky as that one's going to get popped up. They're going to ask the right fielder to get to it, and he will easily. Betts makes that catch, and we go to the middle of the 7th. Valdez has pitched a great game here today. Kept the Blue Jays to no runs. Twins have 5. Looking for more at home. Welcome back to MLB on ESN. We're in Target Field in Minneapolis, where the hometown Twins are up 5-0 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Mookie Betts is up to bat, 1 for 3 in the game so far. Nelson Lamet pitched almost. He's gotten 7 outs so far. They've been almost perfect. Give up a hit in there, but only a single. And he's held these Twins, who were looking pretty good, start this game, to what feels like a stranglehold on their offense, as attempts a slider there to get Betts to chase. Betts doesn't chase.
Oh.
Great call on the slider low. Ahmed is his 4th strikeout.
The third baseman, number
There's 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. As that was just an early swing, Betts did have a bead on where it was. His timing was just a little bit off. Josh Rojas now 0 for 3 on the day. Much about Rojas, not really a surprise. More known for his speed. Round out in the 4th, the best bad bat for him in this game. I bet he's hoping for more. Oh, no. Outside, tried to catch the corner on that one. Did Lamet. Rojas lays off, and it's 2-0. Minnesota fans in a nice murmur as that pitch is going to get. That ball's going to get down in front of the left fielder. Taking on 1 hop. Tyrone Taylor throws to second. And it's a 1-out single for Josh Rojas. Another man on.
That's the first hit since Peralta was in the game in the 4th inning. Lamet has been pretty solid ever since coming into the game. Has done his job mostly, but the Twins are trying to add on more.
And good guy to come up next, Ketel Marte with his solo home run in the 3rd. Can he go yard off another Toronto Blue Jays pitcher? We'll just have to find out. Fastball outside part of the plate, 1-1. Surprised Marte didn't swing at that. Very similar to the pitch he hit for a home run. This is going to ground to this one. Shortstop flips to second. Second to first. He'll only get 1.
The catcher, number 13.
Baez really had to. No, that was Adames who really had to make that run in. That was a bit of a lazy throw there. He barely beat barely got Solano in time. Solano couldn't get it to Josh Bell in time. Now there's 1 on with 2 out as that ball is sliced foul. By who else but Salvador Perez. Very interesting game for Salvador. 0 for 1. He was walked twice by Peralta. Met sat him down. Time he was up as he fouls off that slider. Now it's 0-2. Met 1 pitch away. Getting out of this inning, throwing 41 so far. Always been a good outing for the long reliever of the Blue Jays. As the slider outside, Perez not chasing that one. A 1-2 count, and Perez swings through that fastball, which was on the outer, which was outside of the plate. Lamet gets through another inning, but going to the top of the 8th, the Twins still have a 5-0 lead on the Blue Jays. ALDS Game 1. Top of the 8th for the Toronto Blue Jays, Mike Moustakas 0 for 2, getting them started. Point of the game where the Blue Jays, especially Montoyo, really want to see some aggression in terms of hitting, as we see the middle infield back a little bit for Moustakas. That first pitch is a sinker outside. Valdez has crossed the 80 pitch mark. Could be looking at 100 in this game. He's pitched well enough to do that. A 1 hitter so far. I just jinxed it. Didn't jinx it on that pitch. He tries another low sinker. 2-0. The count. Next pitch. Sinker goes high. Moustakas doesn't swing. 2-1. Beautiful night here in Minneapolis. A bit cold for my liking, but regardless, that ball's going to get sliced foul. And it's, backhanded grab. Rojas went, gimme that. I'll take a catch. He caught that at hip level, too. And there's 1 out in the 5th as Willie Adames steps in. Adames the only hit for Toronto so far against Valdez. You may be seeing him because he makes contact there, but it's going to be an easy play for Baez. Able to set himself to throw. 2 out in the top of the 8th. Tyrone Taylor will be the last man up. You know, I haven't talked too much about this crowd tonight, but Amber Valdez has certainly been getting them hyped for the rest of this series, and especially this game. Hasn't needed too many strikeouts to do it. The Twins fans are just in a great mood all around. Just throws that sinker in for a strike.
Yeah, they've been waiting for a win in the playoffs for so long. With how Valdez has been pitching tonight, it's been exciting. They've been waiting for success from the Twins organization for about 30 years now. And they're so close to getting that win.
That's a great point out there. As that swung on, second baseman's going to make that play, and he will. Great play at a Kettle Marte. Valdez gets through 8 innings. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 5-0 Twins. We are in the bottom of the 8th. Jesse Winker up to bat, Minnesota, and as I have been informed both by my partner here in the booth with me, Steven, as well as our statistician, it has been approximately 18 years since the last Minnesota Twins victory season. Since they technically won the first game of that series, it means that you're looking at 17-game losing streak, I believe it is, in the playoffs.
18, I believe.
2004. It is 18. So, possibility of that streak ending today. Sinker in a 2-2 count. And he'll just send that one right to Bell. That's technically going to count as a catch. Umpire ruled it as that. Line out. To send Winker back. And it's Kyle Schwarber back up.
Oh,
No, swung on and missed. Very bad swing there to Schwarber. I think they might be given up on maybe playing a little bit small ball. They're probably going for the long one there. 1-1 count. That goes high. Valiant effort out of Lamet regardless. Brought in some runners on and made him work.
yeah, again, like I said earlier, it could have been a pitcher's duel. This is only the second pitcher that the Blue Jays have used as he walks Schwarber. And that could possibly be the last pitcher Toronto uses tonight.
Which is a great thing out of them. Hopefully handing it to some pitchers who can go longer in later games. Not putting in the work, but that's assuming you can get out of this inning without possibly letting up some more damage. George Springer fouls that one off. Springer 0 for 3 in this game. New to this season. And with it's a little bit of less, I guess, plate acumen, I guess, focus would be the right word there, as OPS having dropped. So maybe understandable that he goes 0-3 so far, but possible chance here. Maybe get something off of Lamet. Move the runner up. 1-2 count. Lamet will deal. It's going to be inside, and that one's going to be high. 2-2. Almost clipped his elbow there. Lamet deals, and that ball is going to be lifted into center field. Should be an easy catch for Mangum. And retreating
Just
back
off the
first.
bat.
Schwarber it was. Had to reach out there a little bit. That'll set up Javi Baez for what might be his last at-bat of one of the bigger games of his career. I say that like he hasn't had some big games already. That grand slam. First pitch is a strike. Swing. Ooh, swung through a high fastball. No need to really swing at that one. Iron inside. Don't know what kind of contact you were going to make there. Lamet at 60 pitches with a chance to end the inning. Grounded. Ranging over. The second baseman. Solano will make the play to Bell, and that'll end the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. The Twins 3 outs from ending one of the longest postseason losing streaks in American sports history. Crowd getting to their feet in the top of the 9th. They know how special this is. For Minnesota up 5-0, and the chance to end a lot of heartbreak that this team has been, I guess the right word is really suffering for a while. Target Field has been buzzing since their AL Central win. Framber Valdez has possibly delivered to him on a silver platter. He's only given up 1 hit through 8 innings. No walks. Several strikeouts. Josh Bell's going to ground this one. It'll be an easy play for Baez. And there's 1 out in the top of the 9th. 2 outs away. For many of these fans, the countdown clock is ticking as this ALDS Game 1 begins to wrap up. It's Manuel Margot, who is 2 ground outs so far today. And really the quietest player on this Toronto team, both in the batting box and in the field. Interesting given they have Jason Hayward, former World Series champion, in the dugout right now, so possible changes incoming for this Toronto team. But we'll have to see. Maybe Montoya thinks Margot can do a little bit more against these Twins.
Yeah, it
Hayward
seems like
has been injured a lot of this season. Came back in time for the playoff. Margot's been pretty good too. He's also got that speed, remember, but 3-0 count though. Does he swing away when Valdez throws? Valdez? That one looked like a strike, but the ump says he does just missed. Valdez gives his first walk of the day. Certainly not happy with Dave Lawrence on that one.
Okay, if
Now
I was
it's
Rocco
Mangum.
Baldelli, I would probably think about getting my closer warmed up right now, or at least someone warmed up. If Valdez makes a big mistake here to Magnum or someone else, it could become a bit of a closer game than it was before.
Certainly fatigued, as that ball's going to be low, and the speed of Margot you certainly don't want to, as there you see it. Jimmy Nelson and Jose Suarez. Nelson, an interesting choice. Not someone who starts, but certainly a guy who can go long. Suarez has been definitely relied on as a middle reliever, so understandable to get him warming. That all depends on whether he can sit down Mangum. 100th pitch of the game for Valdez, and that one's going to be skied. Second baseman under it. Very easy catch for Kettle Marte, and there's 2 out, 1 on after 100 pitches.
Now batting, the second baseman.
You can see from our camera angles, and you can hear the crowd. They're on their feet. They know what is about to happen, or what really could happen. Towels are waving. Donovan Solano has to battle through all this noise, and he battles that circle change left side. The 0-1 deal. That one's low. That's going to get away from him. Margot's going to use this speed to easily make second. And now, runner in scoring position. That's a wild pitch out of Amber Valdez. I think the crowd will be willing to forgive him of that after the other 100 pitches that he's thrown. It's certainly been a masterclass. And now it's 1-2. The crowd's going to rise to its feet. Big moment in Minnesota sports history. The 1-2 low. Tried to get Solano to chase. Solano doesn't chase. Valdez, 105 pitches incoming. That one's going to be fouled off as the right fielder get to it. Diving, he missed the catch. Mookie Betts, that one bounced off what looked like his wrist. It's going to be a single for Donovan Solano. High fastball. Got a piece of it. Hung just enough for Betts to look like he was going to get a beat on it. But they sent the runner. And that's 1 run across the top of the 9th for Toronto. Anthony Rendon now comes up to bat.
Wow, Betts usually makes those kinds of plays.
He definitely does. I'd love to get a replay of it. Looked like it bounced off his glove.
Nope, that's a ball.
The first pitch curveball is really just down. 1-0 count. And that sinker's low. 2-0 count. Lever's got to be warming. For the Twins, anything could really happen here top of the 9th. As he goes 3 straight low pitches, and Rendon isn't swinging at any of them.
Yeah, I gotta imagine this is Valdez's last batter. If he can't get him out, Rocco Baldelli is gonna go to the bullpen.
Oh, he swings right to the third baseman. He'll throw to the second base, and that'll do it. The Twins' postseason losing streak comes to an end at 18 games. A grand slam by Javi Baez is really the play that ended it all. Kettle Marte adds some insurance. Toronto gets a run back in the top of the 9th, but Framber Valdez goes 9 innings, 2 hits, 1 run allowed, 1 walk, a lot of strikeouts, and a very big win for the Twins. The final from Target Field in Minneapolis. Twins 5, Blue Jays 1. Steven here in our booth. I'm Eddie Debs. We will see you guys in a couple of days for Game 2. Twins lead 1-0 in the ALDS. This was MLB on ESN. Good night, everyone.